Okay, good afternoon, Deborah. Where did you study music?
Oh, I studied music in the north of England, uh, really from being really a small child locally. I'm from Sheffield, which is a large industrial city in the north of England, in Yorkshire. And I went to university in Manchester and read the history of music, musicology. And then I went to the Guildhall School of Music for 1 year, and then I started to work.
And have you going to any competition, prize or honor that you can tell us?
No, I didn't. I don't like competitions. I didn't like doing competitions, and I didn't like the idea of music being a competitive sport. So I started making music as a cooperative social activity, and was lucky enough to be able to just continue in that way. And this is the way I feel about music even now. So competitions don't mean anything to me. Honors, I'm honored every time I sing.
And could you tell us the names of some of your teachers that have impressed you more?
I suppose my really early teachers were very important. I had an amazing piano teacher called Avis Ben. She was a really eccentric, a very musical, uh, interesting old lady who used to teach me piano. And she used to tell me stories about going around Portugal in the 1930s. She went on tour with an all woman um, band playing the piano in Portugal in the 1930s, and she impressed me with all these amazing stories. But for singing, I suppose the most lasting impression is my teacher Laura Rosati, who was teaching at the Guildhall School of Music until very recently. She was from Trieste. She was an amazing singing teacher. I thank her a lot.
Speaking about repertoires, are you specialized in any repertoire?
I've been singing all my life, and I've various stages of my life sort of got really into different sorts of music. I suppose at the beginning I was just exposed to as much as I could possibly find. So everything from French song and not so much German lied, but French song, Spanish songs I used to sing when I was a child, English folk song, and I then found Bach, and then I found Henry Purcell, and those two people, their music really excited me. And then I found Stravinsky, and he excited me in the same way. Those three composers really stick out in my mind as being incredibly sort of crucial to me. Everything else is like an excursion around, but I keep going back to them and to Mozart also.
Could you speak about the best soloists and conductors you have worked with?
Stories of conductors, gosh, so many conductors. I suppose an incredible experience recently was working with Claudio Abbado in his last concert in Berlin with the Berlin Philharmonic. I had the great honor of being able to sing that concert with him, which was included Mendelssohn's Midsummer Night's Dream excerpts, and I was singing the first soprano part in that, and that was an amazing experience. He was such an inspiring and lovely man to be on stage with. That was very special.
And is there any concert, maybe you have answered to this question, but is there any concert that you remember especially the most significant in your life? Maybe that one, or
I think that one. He was obviously very frail. He'd been ill for a long time, and yet he seemed to be living completely for music, for the music, for the moment, and the whole orchestra and the whole audience were living it with him, and it was a joy. It was a completely joyful experience.
In your opinion, why is Mozart one of the great composers of the history?
Because he's so good. He's just so good. He makes people happy. I think there are lots of studies to show that Mozart, if you play Mozart to people, they they relax and they smile and they feel happy. And he seems to tap into something which is incredibly human, and it transcends fashion, and it transcends time, and it transcends nationalities, and it's something which speaks to people of all ages and at all stages in their lives. And he's just he's harmonious. For me, he means harmony, I suppose. If there was a word I would use to sum up his music, I would say harmony.
What significant aspects would you stand out of Mozart's choral repertoire?
Significant aspects of the choral repertoire.
Yeah, the sort of works that you are going to sing in Bogota.
Okay, well, for the choir, it's always amazing to sing the Requiem. It's such an incredibly powerful piece. It's an emotional piece as well. And the C minor Mass is almost it's opposite. It's much more to do with solo voices. But the joy of the C minor Mass vocally is that most of the things I sing are, apart from an amazing aria, Et Incarnatus Est, is the fact that I sing that all the time. There's two soprano duets going on all the time. So then he obviously adores the voice. He obviously adores the soprano voice, and he adores singers enjoying singing, and writes music which you can only really enjoy. I mean, it's he stretches you in a way that doesn't feel like a stretch. It's just it's exciting, it's thrilling, and it's touching at the same time. And he likes musicians to play off each other, so that the two singers, they play off each other. They're working together, and yeah, it's full of love, really.
3 words to describe Mozart. Maybe harmony, you said before. No, could be one.
Harmony.
Harmony, one.
Humanity is 2, and love is 3.
Very good. Could you speak something more about the Great Mass and the Requiem? Well, you have spoken about them, but
oh gosh, what can I say? What can I say? I'll talk a little bit about the C minor Mass. The C minor Mass, I think, has an amazing soprano aria towards the end, Et Incarnatus Est, and it's written for soprano and woodwinds in the orchestra, and all the instrumentalists, all the wind players they play as soloists. So it really feels like a chamber music ensemble with solo voices joining in and intertwining around each other. That's quite extraordinary. You know, it almost describes the Holy Spirit going up and up and up into the air, and there's quite a spiritual dimension to the piece, and the Requiem is extremely moving and monumental, I think, is the word I'd use for that.
You are going to sing in Bogota under the baton of Luis Langre and Joseph Caballé, and with the Camerata Salzburg. Have you shared the stage with them before?
No, I haven't, and I'm looking very much forward to it. It's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be nice to be able to work together in Bogota, to be there and to be actually making music there for the first time. It adds an extra frisson.
And could you say something in Spanish to invite us to go to your concerts?
Yes. Okay. Here we go. Hang on. Hola, soy Deborah York, soprano, y estaré en el segundo Festival Internacional de Música de Bogotá. Bogotá es Mozart. Los espero en esta gran fiesta musical y recuerden que en Bogotá todos somos Mozart.